And now it's time for the most entertaining, unpredictable prediction show on the face of the earth. It's NFL Weekly Predictions, starring Jason Powers, Jay Sizzle, and Steve Champagne. And now to your predictions.
All right, it's time to preview the Cardinals-Patriots game. That's going to be happening this Sunday on the NFL. Interesting matchup here we got. The Cardinals and Patriots.
Patriots have been kind of hot.
Yeah, hot because they're losing. Hot because Cam Newton is under fire. Cam Newton is not Tom Brady. And, earlier in the other show, we talked about what a difference a certain player can make in a game. We said, what if Bill O'Brien never coached the Texans this year and they never traded D-Hop? Where would the Texans be versus the Cardinals? Well, what if Tom Brady never went to Tampa?
Well, are you ignoring the fact that Cam Newton has played much better the last 3 or 4 weeks now?
Except for last week.
Well, okay, yeah, they lost last week, but they've been playing a lot better.
Okay.
And they've been allowing him to run more. In fact, he's been getting some rushing touchdowns, and that's been helping. I mean, this is a team that they're 6-5, aren't they?
I don't know what the Patriots records is off the top of the map, but I know they're going nowhere fast because the Cardinals are on the upswing here. I'm not a Patriot hater. I'm just simply saying the Cardinals are on the upswing. They have D-Hop. Kyler Murray's looking good because they have D-Hop. Patrick Peterson is doing well on the defensive end of the ball. He's not doing bad.
All true.
The Cardinals are on the uprise. The Patriots on the downswing. I don't think people are buying into Cam Newton and his fancy clothes. I don't think the Patriot players are going, oh, he looks fly. But look fly on the field. Don't just get a touchdown and put the S on your chest when the clock says 0-0-0. We won.
I agree with your assessment of the Cardinals, but I think you're kind of selling short the fact that Newton has improved and the team has been getting better. The Patriots have.
All right, so you're going to take the Patriots in this game?
No.
You're taking the Cardinals.
I am taking the Cardinals in this game. And what is this? What point spread again, Sizzle? It's 2.5?
2.5, yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals, and they'll cover, yeah.
Okay. Cardinals by 2.5, you said. Patriots at home. It's cold. Cardinals are from that warm state of Arizona. Got to travel all the way up there to Boston, Mass.
You just talked up the Cardinals and dissed the Patriots. Are you really going to take the Patriots now?
You just dissed the Patriots and picked the Cardinals. So.
Yeah.
I didn't diss the Patriots. He did. I just said they've been playing better. Where were you? I just said the Patriots have improved. Cam Newton's been running more. Cam Newton's been getting rushing touchdowns.
That's what I meant, is you praised the Patriots, but yeah, you picked the Cardinals.
They're still not as good as the Cardinals, no. But here he's been talking up the Cardinals. Who are you taking? Who are you picking? Well, you got to make it suspenseful, don't you?
Well, no, I'm not trying to make it suspenseful. I'm listening to the arguments that are being picked here. I'll take the Cardinals.
All right.
In this game. I don't think the Patriots. I think attitude will win here, and that's why I think Cam Newton's ego will want to outdo Kyler Murray, and he will not be able to.
I'm curious to see what Sizzle thinks. Sizzle's always talking about travel. And you're right. The Cardinals have to go all the way up to New England.
Yeah, you're always talking about travel.
I do.
Cold environment. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Arizona.
You're taking Arizona.
Yes.
Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to find out exactly who wins this Sunday between the Cardinals and the Patriots.
The battle of mediocrity. Yes, it's the Panthers and Vikings this week in the NFL on Sunday. 1 p.m. game. The Vikings are favored by how many, Sizzle?
4.5.
It's a 4.5 point spread. All right. Panthers, Vikings. I'm going to go with the Vikings on this. They're at home. I mean, I know that doesn't mean a whole lot. I don't think they're going to cover. I think this will be a pretty even match between two pretty close teams. I've got the Vikings winning this by probably about 3 points. What do you think?
Well, the Vikings lost last week. They were on the upswing. They had a victory in the making, and then they let them off the hook.
They did.
to quote former Vikings coach Dennis Green, who was a Cardinal at the time. But the Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, look, I can't say enough about Teddy Bridgewater, and Kirk Cousins has actually looked decent. The thing is with the Vikings is they have some really, really big playmakers on their team. Why they're losing games, I think it's mostly on defense. They lost a lot of players on defense, and I think the Panthers will be able to put points up, but the Vikings will prevail in the end. Look for Kirk Cousins to have a big game this week. Finally, just the Jefferson kid. I'm telling you, the Vikings made a good move when they got rid of Stephon Diggs, who was disgruntled. Okay, not that he was a bad player. I'm not saying he was a bad player, but this Justin Jefferson kid, I'm telling you, he's making plays. He blew a big play this past week that actually cost him the game when he was looking to catch a ball. It would ice the game for the Vikings, and he dropped it. He was either he heard footsteps or he was looking to get the first down, and he just took his eye off the ball and kind of cost him the game. But you win as a team, you lose as a team. I'm still sticking with the Minnesota Vikings. That's who I have. And this one, Sizzle, who you get?
I'm taking Minnesota.
You're taking the Minnesota Vikings. You have a reason for that?
No, just a feeling.
Just a feeling about the Vikings.
Clean sweep.
All right. Well, that's the Panthers. I'm excited. I hope to see a good game this week.
All right, another winner on the docket this week: the Browns and the Jaguars. I've got about as much interest in this game. You know what? I think I'd rather see a sequel to Battlefield Earth than have to sit through this, really. But I'll watch some of this game. Not a great draw. Browns and Jaguars. Browns are favored by how many, Sizzle?
6.5.
6.5 points. All right. I hate to take the Browns. This is a weekly thing with me. And the fact that they're, 7-3 now is astonishing. But here's what's really crazy. I don't know if you've seen the rest of their schedule, Steve. The Browns have one of the easiest schedules in the league from this point forward. And the Jaguars are just toast. They've got nothing going for them other than, their running back. And I've got to take the Browns in this, and I do think they'll cover. This game actually could get pretty ugly. Jacksonville's just getting worse and worse. Steve, what do you got?
Well, for someone who's completely disinterested in the game, he sure had a lot to say about it. Baker
it's
Mayfield.
my job, brother.
But your job. Your job. Your job is to do what you've been doing and watch me, the great one.
Wow.
The great one.
Wow.
The man who came back from 5 games down to come within 1 of the pick segment this year. I'm wearing this hat. You should be wearing it this week. The Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, will be doing this all game. He'll be running around like a little kid because they're playing the Jaguars. If they were playing the Steelers, he will be doing something different. Right. And they better be glad they don't have Odell Beckham on the team. And, my thought was, the Browns are going to win. There's no doubt about that. But Cleveland Brown fans, let me tell you something. They are one of the best fans in the National Football League, Cleveland Brown fans, because they have been pathetic for decades. They have been irrelevant for decades. The last time they were relevant, they had Bernie Kosar quarterbacking. And the thing is, the Cleveland Brown fans still come to the games. They still have the dog pound. They still have everything. The Cleveland Brown fans, I'm telling you, Brown fans, I'm giving you the thumbs up. You will win this game against the Jags very easily.
The Brown fans, the fan base that's so proud of their team, they originated wearing the paper sack over their head.
Will you stop?
What, am I making it up? I'm sorry, I'm making things up.
Oh, okay.
Sizzle, who do you got in this game?
I'm taking the Browns.
Taking the Browns. You're going to be surprised when the Browns do something crazy and knock off one of your picks, and then you're going to be like, I can't pick the Browns. I can't pick the Browns. Well, that's it.
I hate picking the Browns, but I'm not taking Jacksonville. Come on.
Yeah, well, the people in Jacksonville are going to start wearing bags over their head.
Right.
Very soon. And
it's at that point.
They might after this game because the Browns are going to win big this Sunday. Well, we got to preview the Chargers and Bills. What a game this is going to be. I'm excited about this game for many, many reasons. We all know that I've been big on Justin Herbert. Josh Allen and the Bills have got a lot of weapons out there with Stephon Diggs actually making some big noise in Buffalo. And, of course, don't count out measly Beasley catching those balls from the slot. Their defense is doing well. The Chargers and Bills. What a game this is. I'm not really sure who's going to come out on top, though. It is in Buffalo. It is cold, and the Chargers have to go all the way across the street. No, I think I'm going to take Buffalo. I'm going to take Buffalo. The travel thing.
Sizzle, what's the point spread on this?
5.5.
5.5. I'm taking the Bills. I don't think they're going to cover, though. The Chargers are good, and they're going to hang around. They're going to make this a close game. I think the Bills win by 3, 4, 5 points. This is going to be a really good one. And as much as I respect Justin Herbert, and Los Angeles is obviously on the rise now, it's like you said, they're playing in Buffalo. It's going to be cold. The Chargers have a long way to travel. And, yeah, I like the Bills. But it's going to be a really good game. Sizzle, what are you thinking on this?
I'm taking the Bills.
The Bills better not blow this game. They better not blow this game. They got everything working for them. They're coming off a big victory. They're playing in the cold. They're playing at home. They don't have to travel. They were home for Thanksgiving. Chargers got Thanksgiving. They got to get on a plane. They got to go all the way the hell over to Buffalo. And this is the kind of game to where the Bills could overlook them, and the Chargers could sneak in there. I just hope that what happened to Joe Burrow does not happen to Justin Herbert, because I was really upset when Joe Burrow went down. I love watching this kid play. He's been very excited. Of course, the Bengals haven't won games, but these young quarterbacks, I'm telling you, they're very exciting. I think we're seeing finally the changing of the guard.
With all the great wide receivers that have come into the league this year, it's not as easy as you might think. But are you picking Herbert for Rookie of the Year at this point?
Well, he could stay healthy. If he could stay healthy. You just don't know. I mean, if he can't stay healthy, obviously he's not going to get Rookie of the Year. And Josh Allen for Buffalo last year.
Because you got, at wideout, you got just in wide receiver, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Brandon Ayuk, you got CeeDee Lamb. I mean, there's a lot of good, talented wide receivers that have come in this year. I think Herbert is probably going to win Rookie of the Year.
Well, it's a quarterback-driven league.
Right.
It's a quarterback-driven league. So the Chargers are winning games. I mean, I would take him over Joe Burrow, even though I like the way Burrow's playing better than Justin Herbert, but they're just not winning football games.
Right.
But obviously that's the end of Joe Burrow. So I hope it's not the end of his career, because some people can't come back from those injuries.
Yeah, that MRI turned out to be worse than they thought. They knew it was an ACL at first. Now they know it's also an MCL, and there's some structural damage to the knee as well.
I mean, it's terrible. I hate to see players get hurt.
My guess is you see Burrow in week 3 next season. He'll miss the first couple of games, I believe.
Yeah, I hope. Well, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they're gonna. You know what? You know what the Bengals need to do? They need to get your guy. They need to steal. Because this is the last year for Ryan Fitzpatrick in Miami. Just push him into the Cincinnati Bengals. Let him hold the fort down 4 or 5 games.
I like it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But we're really talking about
that could be a good fit. I like it.
We're talking about Chargers and Bills, and they need to pick up some wide receivers. But I'm telling you, Josh Allen is looking good. I love the Buffalo Bills. Why?
The Bills are so well-rounded.
Yeah, they're well-rounded.
There's really no weakness in their game.
And they're feeling it because the Patriots don't have Tom Brady. They don't have all this stuff to contend with now. The Bills are finally breaking out of jail. And they better watch out for the Miami Dolphins, though, in the years to come, because the Miami Dolphins are building that futuristic franchise. But the Chargers and Bills, something we're very much looking forward to on Sunday. What about you?
All right, we've got the Dolphins and Jets on the schedule.
Dolphins and Jets. Wow. Well, we can't really, discount the Jets. We said that they're bound to win a game.
Right.
This could be it.
Well, the big question in this is what's going to happen at QB for the Dolphins? Because, as a lot of people know, Tua was pulled not for health reasons, for being ineffective, and the offense just looked really flat. So he was pulled in the third quarter last week, and here comes Fitzmagic again, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and almost led them to a win. He marched them right down the field on that final drive, and I really thought he was going to pull off, the miracle comeback. and he damn near did. They started that drive, I think, on their own 4-yard line, and they went all the way into the red zone. It was looking good. I would love to see them start Fitzpatrick. I don't think that they will, but I don't think it matters that much either way, other than for drama's sake, for the sake of drama. The Jets are they're the Jets. They're a mess. The Dolphins should win this. What's the point spread on this, Steve?
The point spread is Dolphins by 6.5.
Yeah, I've got the Dolphins covering that. This I don't think it'll really be close. Dolphins win.
Well, when you think about the Dolphins, and I want to say this about the Dolphins, I told you they're building a team for the future. I know that Ryan Fitzpatrick is better suited to play for them than Tua. I know that. You know that. I think everybody knows that. Tua's just not ready yet, but the Dolphins are in it. And I think they're starting to smell playoffs. They're starting to smell the mighty Patriots are no longer there.
Which is why they should start Fitz.
And that's why I think he was pulled, because they were thinking, we can't lose this game. Now, they can't lose this game to the Jets. And I think that if they start Tua and he performs badly, which he shouldn't against the Jets,
right,
they're going to bring Fitzmagic back in.
Yeah, they won't have any hesitation.
Because if they lose to the Jets, it's going to be very depressing for not only Dolphin fans, but the Dolphin team. What do you think about that?
That would really hurt their playoff chances.
It would really hurt their playoff chances. But I'm counting, the Bills, they're going to beat Los Angeles. I can't get over this. I'm too old school. I got the Washington Skins and all that going on. But I am excited to see what happens between, Fitzpatrick, Tua, the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Don't discount the Jets. Do you think the Jets are going to win a game?
It's starting to look like they're going to go winless.
They play the Bengals.
What has there been? One winless team in the last 8 years, I think. The Jets have a shot.
They have a shot. They have a shot at it. But I'm saying, do they play the Bengals this year? Do they?
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the Jets.
I don't. I'm not one of those guys that memorizes every team's schedule.
I can't memorize it either.
I don't have the time or patience for that. And just so everybody knows, Jay Sizzle got called away on a special assignment. Something came up, and it's very good news for her, so she had to fly. So we're going to take the helm from this point forward and guide you toward the end of the show.
Absolutely. And we can't wait to look for the next game. But that's the Dolphins-Jets preview right here on Cheap Seat Sports.
The New York Football Giants and the Bengals are the next game on the docket. And just so everybody knows, we did talk about briefly how Sizzle had to leave. She had some good news and had to skedaddle. She did take Miami along with us in the last game, so we're all riding with the fish. Giants and Bengals, Steve, what are you thinking here?
Well, of course, the Giants have a great defense. The Giants.
Very underrated, overlooked defense.
The Giant and Daniel Jones, if he doesn't fumble the ball, but what are the Bengals going to bring to the table? They don't have the exciting play of Joe Burrow. And since they don't, the Giants should easily win this game, which is going to do just what I said. It's going to make the Dallas Cowboys, and the drama will unfold. Because a lot of people think the Cowboys, now that the Red Rifle's back, is going to actually come back and win this division. I'm saying watch out for the New York Football Giants. What did I say? If they had Saquon Barkley, this would be over.
Yeah.
It would be over.
I'm telling you right now, the Giants are winning that division. They are the best team in that division. The last 3 losses the Giants have had, fun fact, 1-point loss, 2-point loss, 3-point loss. This is not a team that's getting blown out. They are regularly in the game. And the Bengals have nothing. They just don't. They're starting. They're not even starting the guy that came in to replace Burrow last week. They're starting who was their third stringer. I don't know, some Mike Williams or something. I don't know. Somebody I've never heard of. And they're just not going anywhere. I mean, the best thing they had going for them was Joe Burrow. Am I wrong?
No, you're definitely not wrong with that. I think that the Giants. Look, I'm really scared about the NFC East. And what I mean by that is this, okay? I believe in my heart, and this is scary, and then this is ludicrous as well, that some team from the NFC East is going to get a home playoff game and win it.
Well, you saw it with the Seahawks. They went 7-9 and backed their way into the playoffs. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago? And they won their first playoff game that year. Nobody gave them a chance, and they ended up winning. You could see the Giants upsetting in somebody in the playoffs. I mean, it's possible. But as far as this game goes, it's pretty easy to pick. I assume you're going with the Giants.
I am going with the Giants.
Who does Sizzle have?
Sizzle has the Giants as well.
Okay.
And so we're all clean sweep on the Giants. Yeah. The next game we got is the Titans and Colts. Colts favored by 3.5 points. Wow. This game is going to change the landscape of the AFC, I think, leading into the playoffs. What do you think about this one, Jason?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I've been underselling the Colts all season. I'm guilty of it. I admit it. They've been improving. Their defense is really great. They're in a good position to make the playoffs now. But the Titans had a really dramatic win, come from behind win last week. And after this week, the Titans' schedule really frees up. I mean, they've got a really easy schedule after this week. I feel like this is going to be an upset. This is my upset of the week. The Colts are favored by 3.5. I'm going with Tennessee in this, but this is going to be a close game. Might be the best game of the year.
You may be right about this. Colts top 5 defense in rushing, yards allowed, in passing on, and points. The Colts have top 5 in just about every statistical category there is.
But the Titans have Derrick Henry.
And the Titans have Derrick Henry. And, that last week, what I noticed about Derrick Henry, and this was the thing about Derrick Henry, I was saying, he's just so much bigger than everybody on the field.
He's a freak of nature.
He's just so big. He's so strong. It reminded me of Earl Campbell of the Oilers.
Wow, going back.
Way back, where Earl Campbell had these thighs that were like as big as people's waists. And he would just maul guys. And Derrick Henry has that capability. And Phillip Rivers has not thrown multiple picks in a while. He's due. He has not blown it. And I think that the Colts they can't win forever. The Titans are in desperate need of a win here because they were on that 3-game losing streak. They did beat the Ravens last week, and I'm thinking that the Titans are going to upset the Colts. I'm riding with you on this one. Sizzle has the Colts, however.
Oh, interesting.
So that's going to be interesting.
Okay. One thing of note, we just did the Giants Bengals just a moment ago. One thing that you should know, and you may want to switch your pick, because I know we were all riding with the Giants on that. You may want to switch your pick because the Giants over the Bengals and covering the spread was my lock of the week. I forgot to mention that, and I've been terrible on picking my locks. So you may want to switch your pick.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to switch my pick. I'm gonna stay with what we got, and I really enjoy this Titans Colts thing. It's going to be the game.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I wish this game was on Thursday. I would love to watch.
Right.
But unfortunately, Titans Colts we get on Sunday afternoon. Looking forward to this one.
Raiders Falcons, Steve. Raiders Falcons. Somehow I'm seeing this as yet another game, in which the ATL Falcons find a way to lose the game late.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. You just called them the ATL Falcons every time we call them that they lose. Remember, we didn't mention that last week till the end, and then we mentioned the ATL. They need to go back to the Atlanta Falcons. They'll win some games, I think.
The Raiders really haven't been on the upswing. I mean, they were pretty impressive. I thought they were going to win that game last week.
Well, I have to agree there, but they gave Patrick Mahomes way too much time at the end of the game, and the Raiders' defense is not as good as the Colts. They're not as good as other defenses in the league. Right. A lot of defenses blew it last week,
I had the Raiders, I saw them winning that game in the third quarter. I saw them winning that game in the fourth quarter. And when they turned the ball over to Kansas City, and Kansas City had, 68 seconds left or 78 seconds left?
A minute and something. It was
I knew that the Chiefs were going to win.
And they only needed 3.
Yeah. I knew the Chiefs were going to win, even if they went, pushed it to overtime. When they turned the ball over, and I'm going to go with Mahomes 9 out of 10 times in that situation. When he can do a game-winning drive with a minute and a half left, yeah, you better not count the Chiefs out.
The only thing the Falcons got going for them here is the Raiders have to travel across country to play Atlanta in Atlanta.
True.
But I don't think that is going to matter. The Ravens are a superior team. The Falcons are demoralized. because they've lost so many games. They just kind of blown it. I think the Falcons were doomed after that Cowboy game. I think after that and all the turmoil that the Falcons have had, they were done. The Raiders are going to win this game. I don't know. That's my
they'll
pick.
cover. It's a 3-point spread. They'll cover. Who's Sizzle got?
Sizzle has the Raiders as well. And, she has the Raiders as well.
A lot of similar picks this week.
No, not really. I mean, when you think about it. We got a couple, especially on the
early games, the Thursday games,
yes,
we got some different.
We had different picks on them. But anyways, the Raiders and the ATL guaranteed to lose Falcons. This is a no contest.
Guys, Saints and Broncos this week, Steve. They are in Denver, and we get to see more of the Taysom Hill show, the Taysom Hill Variety Hour. He did better than a lot of people expected last week. I watched that game pretty intently, and he threw the ball pretty well. I think he's a better thrower than people give him credit for.
Well, I don't know. Before the game started, he's 30 years old.
Yeah,
Taysom Hill's 30 years old. I think he hadn't thrown 30 passes in his entire career until that game. And I was expecting a different kind of game from the Saints. I do believe that. I
don't think Winston even took the field at any point. Did he?
First off, I think the Saints got lucky. I'll be honest. I mean, I know the Falcons were atrocious. I know they blew them out. I think the Saints got lucky. I did not like the way Taysom Hill looked. That's just me. They're playing the Denver Broncos. This is one of those games.
And the Saints are good enough. They really only need, an average quarterback to go with that team, and they that should be good enough to win, especially against the Broncos. The Broncos they're dead in the water. If you're a Broncos fan, you have my sympathies. This is a tough year. They're not going anywhere. They're not developing. The Saints cover. They have a 5.5-point spread. They'll easily win. This probably won't really be close. Who's Sizzle have?
Sizzle has the Saints in this game. You have the Saints in this game. I'm flipping on this. I don't know.
Really?
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because it's in the Mile High City. It's cold. They're used to playing in a dome, nice, comfortable atmosphere. This is the kind of game, these upsets happen every week. We know that. We see it week after week after week after week after week. I have to make one of the toughest decisions of the year. If I ride with you, okay, then I can probably stay within these picks. If I go with the Broncos here, which is what my gut is telling me to do, then I could jump up one on you and maybe win the pick segment for the entire year. So this is a very, very tough decision.
Do you
for
need
me.
a drum roll?
No. I'm going to chicken my way out and pick the Saints with everybody
Okay.
on this game
right
because they
with the
should
Saints.
win the game. You have to think, because the one thing I did not mention besides the weather, besides the climate, besides the Saints gasping for air, is coaching. Okay? So I got to go with coaching here, and I'm taking the Saints. What do you got? But you got anything else to say?
I'm just looking forward to seeing more of what Taysom Hill's got. I always liked him as a gadget player, and I feel like he's earned his shot. I do. I feel like that's the main reason why they're starting him over Winston, because he's been there for several years now. Sean Payton has always been enamored with Taysom Hill for whatever reason. Even if some people don't see it, Sean Payton obviously does. Sean Payton is not an idiot. Sean Payton is a brilliant, probably Hall of Fame-headed football coach. And, I'm looking forward to the second episode of the Taysom Hill Variety.
Well, he did promise Taysom Hill that he would start. He promised him that when Drew Brees goes, we'll give you a shot. And he gave him a shot last week. They won the game. But
they're not going to re-sign Winston anyway.
Well, they might. I'm scared about this game. But I am riding with the Saints, with you guys, because I'm terrified. I'm terrified to pick. I don't have the courage of my
I wouldn't want to have the courage to pick Denver either.
I don't. But that's it. Well, the game we got to talk about now is the Chiefs and the Bucs. I don't know why we got to talk about this game. It's Tampa Bay. It's Tom Brady. All this, that, and the other. All
Big
these 9
game.
Super Bowl appearances, 6
Big game.
Super Bowls, this, that, and the other. They got Antonio Brown. They got Mike Evans. They got the vaunted defense. And they are going to get run out of the building this Sunday by the Kansas City Chiefs, I think. And the reason why I think that, before I hand this over to you, Kansas City does not have a great defense. They don't. Their defense is mediocre. It's
Yeah.
really.
It's good enough considering
it's
their
good enough,
offense.
but really for them, they're just mediocre on the back end. They're mediocre at stopping the run. Without a play action pass game, Tom Brady is not. But here's the other side. I'm not worried about Tom Brady. I'm not worried about Mike Evans. I'm not worried about them. What I'm worried about is the slide I've seen over that Tampa Bay defense over the last several weeks. The last several weeks, Tampa Bay's defense has not looked good.
No,
and
they
if
haven't.
they don't tighten their butts up, it ain't going to be, and I know that's improper English, but it's going to be an improper game when it comes to the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs could win by 10 here.
Chiefs are favored by 3 points in this game. All right, here's the thing, Steve. I am worried about Tom Brady. He did not look good last week. And week 11, or week 10 rather, he looked fantastic. Week 11, he looked crappy. Week 9, he looked really bad. So that's 2 out of the last 3 games. Here's a stat for you, Steve. Steve Champagne, I've got this for you. Over the last 4 weeks, Tom Brady on passes more than 20 yards down the field. What do you think he is?
Bad.
0 for 19. 0 for 19 on passes 20 or more yards down the field. That is disastrous. Just for those of you who are new to football, that means it translates to a quarterback rating of 0.0. He has not looked good. I am concerned about Tom Brady. I'm also concerned about some of the play calling. Bruce Arians has been really good about deflecting and pushing all this pressure on Brady and saying, he even mentioned, Arians even said at one point this week that he believes Tom Brady was being confused by defensive schemes. What? If that is true, I cannot possibly imagine why that would be. My old lady watched this game with me, and she asked me at one point, she said, do you think Tom Brady is developing CTE? Do you think he's taking too many shots to the head? He's been missing people violently downfield. He's been throwing to wide open defenders when there wasn't even a receiver around. He even forgot a few weeks ago, he forgot at the end of the game whether it was 3rd down or 4th down. I don't know what's going on with Tom Brady. He is not himself. But Bruce Arians has a part to play in this as well. And it's kind of, I shouldn't say this word, but it's kind of pissing me off that Arians is not taking any kind of responsibility. Look at Bill Belichick. When the Patriots lose, what is Bill Belichick? What is one of the first things that he says every time? I need to coach better. I need to coach better. Arians has not even hinted at that. He's put all the blame on the shoulders of Tom Brady. He said that he's getting confused by defensive coverage and he needs to make better decisions. Okay, well, first of all, they need to guard him a little better because the offensive line has not been getting it done. And second of all, the play calling has been crappy. You mentioned run-pass option. They completely abandoned the run early on in that game last week. They just chucked the run out the window and said, hey, Brady, you're 25, right? Just throw the ball every down. And that is not going to get it done. The Buccaneers have got to tighten up, and it starts from the top. Which, I mean, you could say arguably the top in the Buccaneers is Tom Brady. Maybe that's true. Maybe it really is his team, and we all kind of know that it is. But coaching has to come into it, and some of the fault has to lay on the coaching. I'm really upset at the way the Bucs have looked. The Chiefs win this game. They do cover the point spread. And at this point, if the Bucs don't get it together, they won't even make the playoffs.
That's true. The Bucs might not make the playoffs. I've seen the confusion in Tom Brady. I have seen that, but I still think you got to remember they just threw Antonio Brown in the mix. He wasn't on the field. I think there's all kinds of uncertainty with who's doing what and where are they going with Tampa Bay, if you will. And I don't think you're going to see that with the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's why the Chiefs will win this game.
Who's Sizzle got?
Well, Sizzle has the Chiefs too, but here's the thing with Tampa. Here's the thing with Tampa. Like you said, last week against the Carolina Panthers, it was so easy. They could have scored 60 points. The week before by the Saints, Tom Brady was a mess. The week before, Tom Brady was great. The week before, Tom Brady was terrible. The week before, Tom Brady was great. Well, had a bad week. Are they going to upset the Chiefs? You know what I mean? Up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah, inconsistent.
You know,
and
we can be consistent. We can
look,
be
it's inexcusable that they're so inconsistent. It's inexcusable with the personnel that they have, and they even made a trade at linebacker, and they shipped Quan Alexander off to San Francisco and got a really good linebacker in return for it. You know, there is no excuse for them to be this inconsistent. And like I said, Arians has got to take the fall at some point. But we're all going for a clean sweep. We're all taking the Chiefs in this game. And that's your Chiefs-Bucks wrap-up here on Cheap Seat Sports.
Well, you know what? Before we wrap this up, though, let me ask you this question. You know, let's get some drama involved here. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose this game and then they go on a slide and don't make the playoffs, which is highly unlikely, does Bruce Arians lose his job?
No, I don't believe so. And I think the reason for that is because Tampa Tom has been playing so inconsistently, and he's been flat out bad at certain points. I mean, they need to really work more on screens and run pass option. You said those words yourself. You were the one that brought that up, and you hit it right on the head. They need to work more of that in. For them to abandon the running game like they did in, the second quarter last week? And it wasn't the Panthers, it was the Rams they were playing Monday night. I mean, that was just ridiculous. I cannot fathom why they did that. It's not like Ronald Jones has been bad. So, I mean, I don't get it. And for Arians to try to push everything off of him onto Tom, I'll tell you what, I hope that he pulled Tom Brady aside before he made those comments to the media, which I'm sure he probably did, and said, look, I'm going to kind of throw you under the bus on this. And, you know, Tom is always the guy who says, I want to be treated like every other player. I don't want special treatment. I don't want preferential treatment. I want to be held to the same standards as everybody else. How come Bruce Arians gets off the hook? Huh?
Well,
answer me that.
What I'm saying, though, is with Tom Brady, you mentioned the stat about over 20 yards, how he hasn't completed a pass.
0 for 19.
And I'm saying he's getting the ball there, and in some instances, it's his inaccuracy at these passes over 20 yards. The ball's either sailing over the receiver's head, or
he's throwing to the wrong side.
Or he's throwing to the wrong side, but the ball is going there. Read a stat now, because they create, everybody's got to win a prize. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They have a new stat now.
Okay.
And Tom Brady's leading in it.
What is the stat?
Air distance. Doesn't mean whether you complete the ball or not.
Right. It's air yards.
It's just air yards. So in aerial throws, Tom Brady's leading the league. Doesn't say
great, but he's not completing any of them.
But that's what I mean. These freaking awards, they come up with everything. What are they going to get?
It's kind of a useless stat, I mean, it's like, has that translated into major success?
Well, no, they're going to have a new guy that's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 30 years. It'll be placeholder of the year. The guy who holds the ball for the field goal kicker. Oh, he was the greatest placeholder, never missed a placehold. But air distance, will you get out of here with air distance? Why do we even have a stat like this? I mean, this is insane.
Well, a lot of the reason for statistics like that, Steve, is because of fantasy football. Because if you're thinking about picking up a wide receiver from Team A or Team B, you may be looking at air yards for quarterbacks.
But if he doesn't complete the pass,
well, if you're looking for big chunk yardage and possible, touchdowns, long touchdowns, then that does kind of enter into it.
Oh,
it's not the fault of the person that made up the statistic that Tom Brady has been so awful with it. Okay? It doesn't make the statistic any less untrue. I just don't know really how relevant that is, considering he's been so inaccurate.
Well, Patrick Mahomes will light the Bucs up. I don't like the defense from the Buccaneers as of late. I think Tom Brady could get it together. He's just got too many weapons not to get it together. So I'm going to definitely think, Chiefs by 10.
Okay. I'll agree with that. I was thinking
I'm going crazy on
about
this.
8, but yeah.
Chiefs by 10. Oh, I'm probably
the Bucs will bounce back. Bucs will still make the playoffs. I mean, they better.
You're probably right.
They
8
better.
points on this game. You're probably right on this. 8 points instead of 10. I was just being arrogant there. I don't know, but that's going to wrap it up for the Chiefs and Bucs. Looking forward to seeing that game.
My beloved San Francisco 49ers are going against, in division, they're going against the LA Rams. This ought to be fun. The Niners are starting to get healthy again. They've got Deebo Samuel coming back this week. They've got Raheem Mostert, I believe, is coming back. That's not for sure, but it looks like Mostert is also going to be coming back. I do have the Rams winning this game. It's a 7-point spread. I don't think they're going to cover. The Niners will keep it close. But, they're going to be phasing these guys back in. Even if Mostert is active, he's not going to be starting. I can almost assure you that. And same thing with Samuel. He'll be kind of eased in. So this is kind of a transition from the wrecked Niners to the healthy Niners. They get Jimmy G back in a couple of weeks. So hopefully the needle is pointing upwards toward the end of the season as we close it out for the 49ers. What do you think of this game, Steve?
I think it's a no-brainer. The Rams are going to win this game. They're a better football team. The Niners are hurt. They've got a lot of problems and issues. There's no way the Niners are going to upset the Rams here. I don't think so. That's in California, whether it's north or south. The Rams are at home, but I'm saying that travel's not an issue here. It's just health and quality of team. The Rams are looking good. They're Sean McVay has probably done his best coaching job of his career.
I agree. And the reason that I agree is that the Rams are traditionally kind of that offensive firepower team, and they've completely flipped it now. They're really led by their defense. Aaron and Donald and company, the offense really takes a back seat. But here's the other thing about it. Even though the offense has backed off this year and they're primarily more of a defensive-minded team, I don't know if you've noticed, but Jared Goff has really been playing quite some good football here of late in the last several weeks.
Well, you have to remember in that Super Bowl where they were held to 3 points, they did not have Cooper Kupp. And
what a monster he was!
And they
this
got a
week.
Cooper. What
did he have? 12 catches?
I don't know.
And Robert Woods had, I believe, 11.
I don't know, but Cooper Kupp is definitely something that they missed in the Super Bowl. Had they had Cooper Kupp, they might have actually won the Super Bowl, but they didn't. Now they have him. The Rams are a team I wouldn't want to face if I was in the NFC in the playoffs. I wouldn't want to face these guys.
They're hot.
Because Jared Goff is, first he was a bust when they had Fisher coaching. Now he's a savior. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. But I don't see the Rams losing to the Niners, even though they're your team. I'm sorry about that.
Also, I see. Well, I'd like to pick the Niners, but they're just not healthy enough yet. I might pick them next week. I don't know. I do know that Sizzle is taking the Rams, so it's a clean sweep once again. We're all taking L.A. And that's our wrap-up, Niners and Rams here. All right, now the game that was moved from Thanksgiving. It was supposed to be the Thanksgiving evening game. The Ravens and Steelers, that has been moved to Sunday. There is no time determined at this time, at the time of taping. We tape early on Wednesday. It's, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. That's one thing that makes our picks so hard, Steve, is we're making them so much earlier than a lot of other folks. And that's more power to us for being successful. The Ravens-Steelers, the Steelers are favored by how many points in this, Steve?
Well, it really doesn't matter. I
doesn't
know.
matter?
Well, the Steelers are favored by 4, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well,
I'll tell you.
I believe that I'll just get this out of the way. The Steelers are going to cover. The Ravens are not the same team they were last year. They're actually, let's be honest. Let's all be honest with each other. The Ravens are mediocre now. They just are. They're mediocre. They'll make the playoffs. They're not going to do a whole lot. Steelers win, they cover. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I'm going to just say this. At the beginning of the year, I was laughed out of the building because I said Deshaun Watson is better than Lamar Jackson. Everybody I talked to laughed me out of the building. I will take Deshaun Watson over Lamar Jackson any day of the week. I said it then. I'm saying it now. The Ravens need a quarterback. This guy is not the guy. He had one great season. Look, case in point. Take out the MVP season that Cam Newton had. If you throw that out, how many people want him as their quarterback? How many people do? Because, look, running is exciting. Running around, making the defenders, it's exciting. I love watching it. I do. But will it win you football games consistently year in, year out? I don't believe it will. Unless you design an offense specifically for the run game. No passing. I'm going to get a big Mike Allstott kind of football player for a fullback. I'm going to get, or a Derrick Henry, if you will. I'm going to get a little scat back that can zoom around and, move, a Barry Sanders kind of, guy that just doesn't go straight ahead, a guy that can zig and zag. And between the three of them, I believe that you could be successful with a running quarterback. But if you don't have that kind of offense, it's not going to happen. The Steelers are going to win this game. Granted, they're undefeated. The Steelers are bound to lose. I don't think the Steelers are going to go undefeated.
Now, it surprises me just a little. Let me ask you this. If the Ravens were healthy and didn't have all this COVID problems, because they're missing Mark Ingram and they're missing their phenom rookie running back who had just taken over before he went on COVID list, and that's J.K. Dobbins. They're missing their top 2 running backs. They have 7 players that are on the COVID list. They're all going to miss this game. So let me ask you, if the Ravens were healthy, considering that the Steelers already beat them earlier in the year, would you still be taking the Steelers? Because you're the guy that always talks about how it's difficult to beat the same person in division twice in the same year. If they were healthy, would you pick the Ravens?
Maybe I would. I would definitely consider it because of that. I mean, when you make these picks, it's always, I don't know. At the end of the year, let's look the stat up about teams that played twice a year and find out how many people swept, how many people didn't get swept. I might, because it's a blood game. This is Giants Eagles. This is Cowboys Redskins.
Right.
This is Saints Falcons. There's so many rivalry games in the league that this is a blood game. These two teams do not like each other.
And you're right. The Steelers are bound to lose at some point. I don't think either one of us believes they'll go undefeated. But
just like
it's
the
not
Jets.
going to be this
just
week,
like the
though.
Jets. I think the Jets are going to luck up and win something.
Right. Who's Sizzle having this?
Sizzle has the Steelers winning this game.
Okay, we're all riding with the Steelers.
We're all riding with the Steelers. I'm excited to see what happens. But if you're a Baltimore Raven fan, I'm a little worried about this game, about it being embarrassed. If Lamar Jackson plays bad in this game, this is not a good thing for him.
Speaking of in-division grudge matches, the Bears and Packers on Sunday Night Football. This is going to be fun. What do you think about this one, Steve?
Well, these two teams don't like each other. The Bears are in total desperation mode.
Yeah, they're in disarray.
I know the Packers just lost, and I know the Packers haven't looked great, and I get it, but they do have Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. I mean, isn't that enough?
When you have Devontae Adams and having the season that he is, and when you have a solid running game, Aaron Jones, yeah.
But the Bears have a solid defense. The Bears, it's their offense versus the Bears' defense, really. And the Packers' defense is mediocre at best, but the Bears' offense is mediocre at best.
Right. They do get David Montgomery back this week, so that is a plus for them. I mean, I know he hasn't been a world beater. He's only averaging like 3 yards a carry. I get it. But, he's been consistent, at least. He hasn't had a lot of 2-yard runs. He pretty much just plods forward for 3 every time. And they don't have a whole heck of a lot else at running back. So it's good for them that they get Montgomery back.
Well, the Bears, Nick Foles. Nick Foles, I think, is a very good quarterback. I just think he needs the right system. Isn't it funny how no one wanted Nick Foles? He goes to Philly and brings them to life. They win a Super Bowl. And then the following year, Carson Wentz gets hurt. He brings them back to life. Coaching, there's 2 kinds of coaches out there. There's a coach that says, it's my way or the highway. Conform to what I'm doing, or that's the end of that. Mm-hmm. And then there's a guy who says, well, this is what he does best, and this is what he does best, so this is what we need to do to be our best. And Nick Foles is the kind of guy that's got to be in the right system to gel. And fortunately for him, the Packers' defense secondary is not that great. And I think he's going to be able to throw the ball. If they can do play-action pass with Montgomery, I think that the Bears have a shot in this game, but I'm rolling with the Packers.
I have a prediction for what's going to happen in this game. The Bears are going to try to run the ball with Montgomery early. They're going to have some, mild success with that. But the Packers' offense is pretty strong. I mean, we all know that. The Packers are going to jump out to a 2-touchdown lead. And in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, you're going to see Foles get pulled from the game, Mitchell Trubisky is going to go in. The Bears are going to rally. They're going to try to make it close. But at the end, it's not going to be enough. The Packers are favored by 7.5 in this game. That's a pretty strong point spread, Steve, but I believe they can cover that. I see them winning this game by 8 to 10 points. I don't think the Bears are going to get embarrassed. They're just not good enough. That's just all it is. And Foles, I've seen enough of Nick Foles. I have. It's time to close the book and move on.
Well, that may be true. Maybe they need to get someone other than Trubisky and Foles. I don't know who they're going to get, but they're not winning this game.
Trubisky deserves another shot, I'm telling you. He does. He deserves another shot. And even if it's not toward the end of this year. And I just read a really lengthy article in, I believe it was Sporting News Online, that was talking about the Bears' possibilities of drafting a quarterback. And they basically made the argument that neither one of these guys has been bad enough to really warrant wasting a draft pick on a quarterback. The Bears have other needs as well. I think that they just kind of need to play both of these guys here and there through the end of the season, and because they're not going to make the playoffs. If Bears fans out there are thinking they still have a shot at the playoffs, you're already done. You're already dead. You don't even realize you. They're dead men walking. They're not going to make the playoffs. I think they could even do the thing where they kind of alternate the quarterbacks, bring in Foles to start, and then put Trubisky in the second half unless they're ahead. Do something like that. It's been done before.
Come on.
It's been done before.
Get out of town. Look, let's get to the bottom line. Are you taking the Bears or the Packers?
I'm taking the Packers.
All right, Sizzle's taking the Packers. There's no sense in going on about this. The Bears will lose. I like the Bears. I like the defense. I love Khalil Mack. I'm rooting for Nick Foles. I think he's been pushed around in this league. And as far as Mitchell Trubisky is concerned, he's shown me nothing. Nothing. Just like the guy on freaking Hogan's Heroes.
He hasn't been that bad.
He's shown me nothing. He's shown me nothing. What he can show me is that he chokes in big moments and he loses games. Nick Foles, on the other hand, has not choked except this year. And I think it's a system. That's just me. That's me.
All right, well, that'll wrap up Bears-Packers Sunday Night Football here on TCS Sports. We'll be right back with the Monday Night Football. Time to talk about a proud American tradition where everybody gathers around as a family. And no, I'm not talking about Thanksgiving. I'm talking about Monday Night Football. Yeah, baby, we got the Seahawks and Eagles coming up this week.
The Battle of the Birds. This game is for the birds.
Bird is the word.
Bird. Bird. All right, but here's the birds. The Eagles are the birds that are spiraling down. The Seahawks are the team that's flying high somewhat. They haven't looked great as of late, but last week. But I'm saying the Eagles are in a lot of trouble. I think the Eagles are in trouble. What do you think?
Eagles are in a lot of trouble. Carson Wentz is an unmitigated disaster. He just continues to get worse. I didn't really like him that much at the start of the season. I considered him kind of a mid-tier quarterback. He has plummeted like a guy that you toss into the river, when they're trying to execute people in the olden days, and they're trying to get him to confess. They would tie a huge rock to them. They wrap a rope around a huge rock and tie it to their ankle and toss them in. And if you confess that you were, a witch or whatever, guilty, then, they might let you up, or they might let you drown, and they would call it a Christian death. And, if you protested, then you obviously, had to die. So, yeah, Wentz is dead. He's done. They've got to move on from him after this season. I know they signed him to that pricey contract. And, wasn't it a record-setting contract at the time, if I'm not mistaken?
It might have been a record-setting, but they do have a backup plan. They already have somebody they drafted last year, which kind of made Carson Wentz freak out a little bit. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about this game. First, I assume you were taking the Seahawks?
I am taking the Seahawks. They're favored by 5.5, and they'll cover.
The Seahawks are being taken by Jay Sizzle as well, and I'm going to take the Seahawks. But here's where the Eagles have a chance. Okay? I'm going to give you point one. The Seahawks travel all the way to Philadelphia. That's one. Point two. The Eagles have looked so bad, a lot of them players are looking for contracts. They're on one-year deals. They need to play good. This is the only game on. They got to shine on this game. Point 3, and this is the most important point. This means more than anything. What did the Cowboys, Giants, and Redskins do? Because whatever it takes for the Dallas Cowboys fans to have a chance to get to the playoffs and host a game, my favorite, the TMZ of the National Football League, if the Cowboys have hopes, provided the Eagles lose, then the Eagles will win this game. If the Cowboys have no hope, just the opposite. You know what I'm just saying. If the Cowboys have no hope, if the Eagles win, then the Eagles will lose. Or something like that. I'm just saying that because I've seen this Cowboy thing before. And Cowboy, it's like, what is it? Is it Einstein who said whatever can go wrong will go wrong? Who said that?
I don't recall offhand. I think it might have been Einstein.
I don't know who
I know
said
this.
it.
It's what you're saying is, in a way, it's kind of irrelevant. I understand where you're going with that.
It is irrelevant.
I understand where you're going with that. And, the Cowboys being the TMZ. And what it does seem like this entire NFC East division has been, whoever is not expected to win this week is going to win. And whoever is expected to win is not going to win. It has kind of seemed that way. But what you're going to see from here through the end of the season is the Giants taking hold of that division. They may even finish at 500. Oh, my God. Wouldn't that be amazing to have a division winner that at least didn't have a losing record?
I would like to see the Giants finish at 500. I would love to see the Cowboys come back. I would love, really, if you want to know what I would really like to see, I would like to see the Washington Redskins win out. Every game.
The football team.
The football team, football club, whatever they are. Those guys.
You want to see Washington win out
and shock the world. Alex Smith becomes Player of the Year. I would love to see it because I would like to see that. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying it's something I would like to see.
I better back off on that NyQuil, son.
Well, I got nothing about it. No, look. It's kind of like a movie. You want to see the end of this. You want to see it's kind of like, and I'll just use this for a quick example. Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry. His character never had an end. Never had an end. He never had an old Dirty Harry Callahan where he died in the movie, and that was the end of the character. It's over. I'm saying that, so you think about it. It's not important. It's just something you think about. And I'm just saying that there's no way the Giants are going to win out. I'm saying I would like to see it because Alex Smith.
Washington, you meant.
Yeah. Alex Smith, he shouldn't even be playing football. This guy shouldn't even be in the league.
That's why I'm taking Washington this week, though, mainly because Alex Smith has looked so good.
But Eagles fans, don't worry because this is the Monday night game. This is the big stage. This is what Jason said, the get-together, if you will. If the Cowboys have hope, if you lose, then you'll probably win, or vice versa. I'm just putting that out there. It's just something I've noticed.
I see Sizzle is riding with Seattle.
Yeah, we're all taking Seattle.
We're all taking Seattle. All right.
I'm looking forward to finding out how I did this week.
Yeah, so am I. I want to take first place back. I wanted to go wire to wire, and y'all already ruined that. So
well, it's okay.
I'm gunning for you.
Next week. Well, you can't. I'm winning every week, except 2 weeks. I won. I didn't win the first week, and I won the second week, and the third week I had I went 8-8 in picks, and you went like 9-3. And that gave me that 5-game cushion. And then after that, I've been clawing my way back into this thing. Hopefully, maybe. You never know. I think maybe next week I'm going to go all out and do some risky picks. But we'll just have to see. But all I know is I enjoy doing the show. We hope you enjoy watching the show.
Please like and subscribe.
And we'll see you next week right here at Cheap Seat Sports.